Hello beautiful humans, hey, it's Jay and welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be my 2021 bullet journal setup. As seen in my latest video, this is my 2020 bullet journal and we have definitely upgraded for 2021. Drumroll please! Introducing my 2021 Bujo, the Notebook Therapy Tsukki Collection Fuji-san notebook in the original size. This is super cute, absolutely everything I wanted in a notebook, and a lot of content creators that I watch are actually using this as their Bujo to start off 2021. To save some time while filming, I've already added in some personal elements to this Bujo. The first one, are we surprised that it's haiku related at this point? It's this little pull-out inspirational quote, and it has Kita on it because he has become quickly one of my favorite haiku characters. I have also added a pen loop because I do take my Bujo outside, as well as a business card holder for my business cards. First off, writing down the name, of course, and then we are going straight into the key. This flip out key was inspired by Plant-Based Bride here on YouTube, as well as some Pinterest posts that I saw. I might have mentioned it in my flip through, but the last book I read was The Bullet Journal Method by writer Carol, and recently I changed my key to match the original one from Ryder because I jumped into the deep end of bullet journaling without really learning how to doggy paddle, aka the basics. So I'm dedicating this bullet journal and I guess 2021 to really learning the system, but of course I'm still customizing it. Besides the original Bujo key, I have added my own for my drink tracker color code system for when I track my daily drink intake, and my highlight system, which I use to mark important dates in weekly or monthly spreads. I also left some room as well in my key in case later on in the year if I wanted to add a new symbol to it. My theme for this setup is based all around the design of this notebook, so you'll see mountains, gray, silver, pink, and rose gold as some of the main motifs for this setup. I'm using two Tombow dual brush pens as the main color, first time ever using them, and I will try to leave links for any items that I use in the description box below. I am really trying to keep these spreads aesthetic but also still functional because I like being creative. Moving on, we're going to be pasting in, I guess, my title page for 2021. This was inspired by a friend of mine who kept saving wedding invitations that were transparent to Pinterest, which flooded my Pinterest feed. But then I also saw Art and Foxes here on YouTube do this as well in her notebook, which is also the same one from Notebook Therapy, so I thought I would give it a try. I made the simple graphic design of a mountain and then printed it on vellum paper, then painted over the certain sections in rose gold, and I have a feeling that vellum paper is going to be a recurring supply of mine in future spreads. I love how this looks, and the camera is not giving the rose gold paint the justice that it deserves. This is another one inspired by a few Bujo content creators like Caitlin's Corner or Plant-Based Bride, but I have also decided to name my 2021 Bujo, and I'm going to be naming mine after fictional characters. On the same piece of vellum paper, I printed out a nameplate that said this bullet journal's name is, and glued that in, and added some washi tape on the top so it looks like it's stuck in, and I decided to name my Bujo Tsukki! It just felt like the perfect fit for this notebook, one, because it's from the Tsukki collection of Notebook Therapy, and it's also a name of haiku character that I quite like, so it was perfect. I got this sticker of Tsukki holding a sign from Redbubble, which was perfect for the spread, but because it's a sticker paper and I'm left-handed, I couldn't write on it without smearing, so I went back to the vellum paper, printed out the name in a handwriting-esque font, and then stuck it to Tsukki, and that completes that totally unnecessary but oh so cute spread. Next is a spread that I haven't done before, which is an index. Like I mentioned, I really wanted to hammer down the method of bullet journaling as the original creator intended it to, so I decided to add one this year. I don't know how I'll use this spread in the future, but I'm keeping it fairly simple, just putting in two sections to write the collection and the page number of said collection. And once again, inspo from Pant Lace Bride. I added some rose gold washi tape to the edge of this page so that I could see it wherever I was in the Bujo. I don't know how well used this is going to be, but I will try it for at least the 6 months that I'll be in this Bujo. Do you use your index? I feel like I always see it's either yes, the index is so important, or people just skip out on it completely. So I don't know which two of those sides I'll end up on. This is another spread that I've never made before, which is a grid spacing cheat sheet. I first learned of these from Amanda Rach Lee, but couldn't put it into my previous Bujo as the pages changed from blank to dotted to gridded in that notebook. So I thought this would be a fun one to try. I'm always constantly counting dots and spaces whenever I'm making spreads, so here's to hoping that this works for me. I won't try to explain this because I'm still trying to figure it out, but I've marked off this page in my spaces for halves, thirds, and quarters, with and without spaces, so that when I flip to this page, I can easily find what I'm looking for to set up future spreads. I wasn't going to originally use my metallic jelly rolls for this, but then I saw that the new official bullet journal from Ryder Carroll had a rose gold grid spacing, I think in the black version, and it looked really cool, so I thought I would do that for mine as well. I should also mention, if it wasn't obvious, that this is a voiceover Jay from the future, and I want to let you know that some of the spreads now look slightly different from what you'll see in the final flip through than how I was making them. I don't know, there's just some sort of innate pressure I feel when filming my setups not to mess things up, therefore making me mess up on spreads. So I correct these, erase all my sketches, and then add some design elements all off camera to save you some time from watching me attempt to fix things, but also to ease some pressure off me to make perfect spreads. I know that no one's Bujo is perfect, but I struggle with perfectionism quite a lot, hoping to get better at that in 2021. Of course, a yearly setup is not complete without having a quotes page of some sorts, and if you know me, IRL, I am a sucker for a good quote. To tie into the Mount Fuji notebook, I decided to go for an inspirational mountain quote which reads, "May your dreams be larger than mountains, and may you have the courage to scale their summits." I can't draw, so I drew some basic mountain shapes at the bottom half of this and then played around with different fonts for the different words. Also, totally didn't pick this quote because it also reminded me of Haikyuu to the top and how they always talk about reaching like summit points of spikes. Totally didn't do that. I promise that naming the notebook Tsukki and then having the Kita pull out are the only Haikyuu elements to setting up this Bujo. Everything else is relatively normal, I would say. I also got this gray stamp pad, which I actually quite like. I don't know, I don't like using too much black in my spreads because it's a bit much on the eyes, or at least my eyes, so I'm really glad that I bought that. Our next spread is my future log. All my titles have a mix of cursive and all caps writing, and I really like the look of this. I decided that I was only going to set up 6-ish months. I'll explain the ish part in a bit, because based on my previous notebook, I only fit 6 months into it. However, it was also a lot smaller than this one, and so I wasn't sure if I wanted to do a 6 or 12 month setup for my future log, because I don't know how long I'll be in this bullet journal for. So instead, what I did was fully set up from January to June with calendars, and then I left space at the bottom of each page of the spread for July, and then the section labeled later in 2021. And that's going to be for any important dates that come up for months that aren't in my future log. I think I should last at least 6 months in this Bujo, but I guess we find out in July. The next one is the one that always takes me the longest time to set up, and that is my faux Dutch store vision board New Year's resolutions goals list. That was a lot. I ordered this A6 ring planner dotted notebook notebook paper to use to like cover up pages I messed up on in this Bujo, but it's a lot more yellow than the pages of this notebook. It still works, I'm going to use it, but I'm using this as the base of my faux Dutch door. I include this spread in every single one of my bullet journals. It's just one of my favorite ones to look at and is a source of inspiration for me. For the vision board aspect of this, I just print off things from my Pinterest vision board. But there are always two images I make sure to include. One of them is a picture of a strength tarot card, as it is one of my favorite cards in the deck, as well as a omamori, which is a Japanese lucky amulet. I get an omamori every year, so I always try to include a picture of a omamori that looks similar to my actual one. For my goals in 2021, I actually did this a lot different than what I used to do. I was the type that would make ridiculously, and I mean ridiculously, long lists of things I wanted to get done in a year, and if there's something 2020 has taught all of us, it's that things can change. So, instead of a stereotypical goals list, I did one that I'm calling my goals/concepts list, which is 5 things that I want to focus on in 2021. These will be broken down in my next spread, but they are to invest in my health, grow my wealth, continue learning, keep creating, and connect. This is another page that I always want to be able to find easily, so I'm also adding the rose gold washi tape over the edges to create my concepts/goals list. I made this very simple graphic in Canva and then painted with rose gold and silver painting the numbers 2021 on each side. There's just something really nice about having a vision board wherever you go. And like I said, I think this is my favorite spread in all my bullet journals. It's nice to see how my visions change throughout the years, like what photos I'm including, what quotes I'm including, and it kind of gives me a snapshot into what my mindset was going into that year. My goals breakdown page is, well, exactly how it sounds like. I'm using this spread to really get to the core of my 5 concepts for 2021, and will be writing in these boxes specific things that I can do that help me fulfill each of these concepts. So for example, for health, I plan to write drink water daily as one of these specific tasks that I can do that helps me invest in my health. I really want time to think about these tasks, so I'm leaving the boxes blank for now, but I like how simple this setup is, and I don't know, I think that just having 5 concepts instead of 5 really specific goals is going to help, one, with my perfectionism mentality, but also make it more achievable to me. And then for each of my monthly goals, I want to kind of reconnect them to these 5 concepts. My next 2 spreads are the first of my tracker spreads in this setup. The first one is my fitness tracker. I've mentioned it in previous videos before, but my health this year has been on a bit of a roller coaster with autoimmune issues and whatnot, and I really wanted to reclaim at least a part of my health, if that makes sense. I was given the A-OK by my specialist recently that it's okay for me to start working out again, which I'm pretty excited about. The first thing I wanted to write on the spread is a reminder to myself, and it reads, "Reminder, be your version of healthy." I am no model figure and will never be a model figure. And while we look up to these people as fitspo, I think the best place to start is to look at yourself and the capabilities of your body to determine what healthy is for you. I've placed 2 graphs here, one for my body measurements to be filled out on a monthly basis, and the other one is a weight tracker to be filled out on a weekly basis. I then take those 2 Tombow Duo brush pens to create the lines for this grid. I'm getting better at writing with them though. My goal is for part of creativity is to figure out how to work these. The next spread was inspired by my favorite gratitude spread, which was one from October, but this is my books read tracker. I'm not tracking all my books here though, just my physical ones, as I do read quite a bit of ebooks. I recently started getting back into reading physical books and wanted to see how many I could get through in a year. I can fly through an ebook in a day or 2, but I find with physical books it takes me a lot longer. So I was curious to see how many books I can read, and if you have any suggestions for me to add to my reading list, please leave it in the comments below. I literally read anything from like fantasy books to self-help to finance books. I don't know, I just really like reading, and I've missed holding a book, which sounds so weird, but I've been using my phone and the e-readers for such a long time now that physically holding and carrying around a book this year was, I don't know, it gave me nostalgia of like constantly begging my parents to let me go to the library and like lugging home 10 books that I had to finish within like 2 weeks before they were due. So I'm excited for that. Moving on, we have my YouTube schedule / tracker, which is in the exact same format as it was in my last Bujo, and this was inspired by Ashley, aka Best Dressed on YouTube. This is a place for me to plan out my YouTube videos as well as pencil in dates for potential content. Something new I am adding to the spread this year is a milestones or tracker flip out similar to the key to see to how many subscribers I can reach in the next year. Actually, while I'm doing this voiceover, can't talk, we just hit 750 subscribers, which is my first milestone that I wrote down on these flip outs. So I just wanted to say a quick thank you for watching my videos and liking the plethora of content that I create here. There are not enough words in any language out there to show my appreciation for all you amazing humans. I love y'all. Too cheesy, but seriously, I mean this from the bottom of my heart. This time last year in 2019, I think I had like 30 subscribers, and now 1 year later 750 is kind of crazy to me. I hope you all stick around for the content and creation to be made in 2021. Shameless plug, but if you haven't yet subscribed, it would mean the world to me if you did, or if you have any video suggestions, please leave them for me in the comments below. I gave the warning that there were a lot of trackers, right? These next spreads are my monthly and skincare trackers. These are actually spreads that were living on post-it notes in my last Bujo because I was running out of space in that one, so it's nice that they finally have a home. My monthly tracker is a running list of tasks or habits that I do on a monthly basis. Some people, I guess, would call this the when did I last spread, but I'm just calling it my monthly tracker. Some examples of things that I track here are when I change my bed sheets, or when I water my cactus, or cut out my bangs because they grow ridiculously quick. I also added this quote at the bottom that says that the secret of your future is hidden in your daily routine, which I know kind of doesn't work for a monthly tracker, but for me it does, and it gives off strong keto vibes. I said I would stop mentioning haiku, I'm so sorry. For the header, I decided, because they're both trackers, to kind of combine the headers into one, so I wrote the words monthly and skincare on the far edges of the page and then put the word tracker in the middle because both of them are my trackers. For the skincare tracker, this is a spread that I think I started in October, and it's a place for me to list the current skincare products that I'm using or have open to see how long I use them, to how long it takes me to finish a product, but also to make sure that I'm not using expired products. I put down 4 columns. One, what the product is, did I open it, when did it go empty, so I can see how long it lasts me, and then I also added an area for notes, like if I would repurchase it again. My skincare has definitely improved over time, but it still could be better. These next spreads are my wishlist spread and a cosplay spread. The wishlist spread is, a place to put items that I want to buy down. I have a bit of a problem with impulse buying, I will admit, but I found that when I wrote it down in my wish list, it kind of helped curb the urge to buy something right away, and this is just going to be an ongoing list for me. The cosplay spread is only really for cosplayers, but I think you could work this out if you're doing any elaborate clothing designs as well. I changed it up a bit this time around, however. I'm still working on my cosplay of Asta from Black Clover, as con season was canceled this year, so I wanted a dedicated space to list out the pieces that I have and still needed for his cosplay, because I still really want to cosplay him. Beside that, I made a little section labeled ready, and these are my ready to go cosplays, or ones that I don't really need to work on or fix. And then I left space at the bottom for cosplay ideas. The next spreads, I guess, are multiple spreads that are now all put together in one. I don't know what to call this, but the first half of this first page is my ideas section, and this is just a running list of layout ideas, spread ideas, video ideas for YouTube, and theme ideas for my bullet journals. These were all over the place in various brain dumps in my last Bujo, so it's nice that they have a home. The check it out spread is one that kind of is a mix / migration from my last bullet journal. I had separate lists for TV shows and movies in my last Bujo, but I didn't really reference it a lot. So instead, I decided to do this spread that will just be a list of movies, TV shows, and books that I'm waiting to be released so that I can enjoy them. The other half of the spread is my ideals day spread, and for this, I'm doing it a bit differently. I don't know how my routines or daily life is going to evolve with new normals, so I'm writing the section headers of daily AM and PM routines on the page itself, but the actual list or content will be on sticky notes, so that as daily life changes, I can just remove it and make another sticky note instead of feeling pressured to make sure that my day is an ideal one. Our final spread of this setup is my year in tarot spread, which is exactly what it sounds like. I don't think I mention it in a lot of videos, but I've been doing tarot or oracle card readings for the last 2 to 3 years, and I know this can be an uncomfortable topic for some people, so feel free to fast forward through this section if you'd like, but this is going to be a space for me to write down what cards I pull out at the beginning of my month readings, just to see if there are any cards that are reoccurring throughout the year. To make this spread, I traced out 6 of my tarot cards, just because I think I'll only be in this journal for that long, and we'll fill in the blank space of the card with a quick snapshot of what the monthly reading was telling me. To add some color and I guess sparkle to it, I use the rose gold Sakura jelly roll to write down the number and the month that each card corresponds to. And that completes our 2021 setup. Cue the flip through. And here is my flip through of the final version of my 2021 bullet journal setup. This bullet journal, I don't know, it just gives me really good vibes, and I'm hoping that 2021 is kinder to all of us. Here's a little close-up of my little keto flip out that says open for when you need motivation. I hope you enjoyed these spreads, maybe got some inspiration if you are bullet journaling, and liked these layouts. If you have any suggestions for other bullet journal spreads that you think I should include in my January setup, because I will be setting up for January soon, please leave them in the comments below. But I hope you enjoyed this video. I know it's super long, but I hope you got some ideas, maybe some inspiration. Or I know a lot of people watch my videos before they go to sleep, or if it made you sleepy, I'm glad it did that for you as well. Thank you again for helping me reach my first milestone of 750 subscribers. It absolutely means the world to me, and you beautiful, amazing, wonderful humans don't know how much it warms my heart. I hope that you are doing well, taking care of yourself, staying healthy. I hope that this holiday season is a good one for you, that it's a safe one for you, and as always, I'm sending you my love. I love you to the moon and back, and I'll see you in my next one. Take care always. Jay.